Yeah, a bit of a banger here, ByuN and Classic. ByuN has been looking absolutely incredible in TvP, but Classic's always one to keep an eye on. And can he pump the brakes on ByuN's kind of meteoric rise into becoming one of the very, very top players in the world? I mean, he always has been, but I feel like I didn't really think of him as the second best Terran in the world last year, and it's kind of starting to look that way.
Yeah, we're getting there ever closer every single time we see ByuN perform here in these tournaments, in these weeklies, in GSL. He's that much closer to that kind of spot. And, mate, introduce him.
Here he is in the top left-hand corner for Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN.
Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. Representing himself, this madman is teamless. Someone pick him up. It is Classic. When you were talking about ByuN's rise earlier, but I gotta stand up for my boy as well, for the non-Terrans out there. Because Classic likewise has been doing so well for himself in these past couple of weeks. He's been getting some really good results as well, taking down players like Cure, taking down players like Dark, who he just 2-0'd as well. Even Hero. Classic, I don't know what it is, but post Katowice, like a fire was kind of lit under him, and he's just, yeah, a bit on fire.
Yeah, and speaking of, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a unusual opening, something the Protosses have been doing a little bit more often lately, and that is the 2-gate opening. So this is usually going to be 2 Adepts into 4 Adepts, and it can kind of twist the roles on their heads between Terran and Protoss, where the Protoss gets to be the one kind of setting the pace and being aggressive.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll see if he can get some damage done here with this 2-gate opener. For the time being, ByuN, he has been going for a Rax Expand. He's been doing this all day. We've been casting a lot of ByuN, actually, not just in this tournament, but also in ESL Americas. No SCV Scout either, just, more concerned with himself.
Yeah, more concerned with himself, just more concerned with hitting these clean timings here, getting himself into those units that he is so incredibly good with. He's just so flexible with bio, so aggressive and fluid, and that's what makes him so strong in this matchup.
Oh yeah, it really is. I think, I say we've been casting a lot of ByuN today, but in period, these past couple of weeks, we've been bearing witness to a lot of ByuN. We've been kind of in awe and being inspired by his TvP specifically, I feel. It's been looking insane.
Yeah, it certainly has. And yeah, it's definitely a player I'm already keeping my eye on. In fact, I think I might have already seen this replay.
Let's go, Papi, as the first 2 Adepts are going to be rocking up across the map as well. ByuN is looking to just barely finish up his CC in time. Ooh, oh my god!
Oh, he even gets the SCV out of there. Might have been an accidental double click there. Oh no, it wasn't. No, he just wanted to get the orbital started. That makes sense. So he does save it for a moment, dodge out a few shots. It does go down anyway, so that was a fun ride for that SCV.
That was smooth, mate. That was... damn.
It's with the "you saved me, why?" And he goes, "Oh, my bad, back out."
Smurge, Papi, Smurge. SV does go down in the end. Meanwhile, now we are up to 4 Adepts here trying to knock down the front wall. Oh, but the Marine, the defensive position is just too damn good, and the Adept gets focused down.
Yeah, no fear from ByuN. Going to be focusing down all of these Adepts. 3 Adepts going down already. This is pretty bad for the Protoss here. You can definitely afford to be losing a few Marines here, but with such an aggressive opening, keeping those initial units can be quite important for the Protoss. You can see he's now in a situation where he's trying to catch back up, trying to get the tech going, but he's possibly going to have to commit a bit of resources into making some units.
Yeah, exactly. As he loses his final Adept here, we do have the lock-on from the Cyclone as well. We're forced to recall, but before that happens, we do get, one of those Stalkers.
Yeah, ByuN being a little bit greedy there, almost gets both, but just very precise in the end. And now he's going to be going for a move out here with this medevac, with the Cyclone. This is something that we see ByuN does quite a bit. Clem does it quite a bit as well. These players who are very fast, very micro-based with their play do really like moving out with early Cyclones in TvP.
Oh, they really do. And now here he is. The shield battery is still not done. We only have 3 of these Stalkers remaining. One of them is weakened from earlier, and they're being zoned away from the shield battery.
Yeah, and with that, the shield battery is going to be going down. A lot of damage going down on this Cyclone, but ByuN going to be trying to micro his heart out with this unit, bait out some shots, and he does get the Cyclone and the Marine out of here on very, very low health. He's continuing to try to dance back and forth, but no, a little bit too much. The Cyclone goes down. If he can get 2 Stalkers, it's going to be worth it, but no, it looks like it's just going to be the one.
The micro puppy, the micro ByuN just being a little bit cheeky, getting the most he can out of what little he has, and he does trade quite well. In the end, he's forced to back off, and Classic can breathe a sigh of relief as he does survive.
Yeah, but there we go. We just have Classic getting up that 3rd base here. So he is taking a little bit of a risk here. He has the Colossus on the way, but not too many units here as a result of all the aggression coming out from ByuN. Meanwhile, back on the side of ByuN, we're just seeing this very standard 3-1-1 setup. Going to be 2 tanks going into just bio and medevacs. What you expect to see, and going to be trying to take advantage of the damage that he got in the early game and try to get the kill with the stim push.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to keep up that momentum. We already see him moving out here. This is going to be spotted by the Observer, so Classic does have the heads up that he's going to have to start to muster a defense at his 3rd base location. We already see a warp in of those Stalkers. He will have a Colossus with his army, but only one.
Yeah, and this just kind of depends on how the control is for ByuN. If he can set up those tanks closer and closer without taking too many swipes from the Colossus on his Marines, he could get a lot done here. But it looks like Classic anticipating the movement very nicely, wants to protect that cyber core that's on the wall.
Oh, exactly. There we go. One tank does get focused down already here. Only a single tank remaining, but ByuN is quick to react. He loads up and he goes for a drop into the main.
Yeah, instantly loading up, running into the main. Those 2 Stalkers will be just enough if they can get to the shield battery here, but ByuN trying to drag them out of the way back. Even going for a neat little pickup there, but with this Classic going to be jumping on the tank on the left-hand side. Loses a few Stalkers, but cleans up that army.
Yeah, he cleans up the tank, cleans up the army. The Marines in the main base don't get too out of hand either. We do get 3 probe kills, but that is it. The overcharge is enough to keep everything else safe and sound, and Classic once again holds.
Yeah, to get the hold. ByuN going to be taking his 3rd very adventurously on location here, so he does need to get back out on the map pretty soon just to make sure that he keeps the pressure on Classic, keeps the map control.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to do so, especially with this Marauder heavy army. It is quite robust. He can go toe-to-toe with these Stalkers. You see a little bit of Raven harass as well across the map at the 3rd base. Doesn't really get too much damage, though. There were some units here already in position. And ByuN, yeah, is going to be looking to move out with a double drop.
Yeah, he's got a few extra units. Got that Raven as well, so he should be able to track down this Observer, or at least see that he's been spotted, which is quite important.
He does spot the Observer here, does back off in the end, doesn't want to expose himself or expose his 3rd base. As, oh my god, Observers are all over the place. Oh my god.
Yeah, Classic being very active with those Observers, trying to keep an eye on the units of ByuN, but ByuN would like to keep him in the dark, and that's kind of one of the ways that ByuN's TvP works, is just clearing out vision, keeping his opponent in the dark, and threatening pretty much everywhere at once, just because he's so wild with his drop play.
His multitasking is insane, and we'll see if we get to see that come to fruition. For the time being, he's just setting up defensively back at home. He's setting up some of these depots as well for some of that added SimCity and that defender's advantage. Vikings are on the way. Ghost Academy is done, and then we go. The first wave of ghosts are upon us.
Yeah, there we go. So ByuN going to be gearing up for a nice timing here. Once he does have those ghosts and has 6 to 8 Vikings as well, he can go for a push against these Colossus.
Oh, he really can. It's so important as well that he was able to keep that Raven alive from the early game as well. It is only 1 Raven, but when it does get topped up on energy, it does have a lot of potential to shut down those Colossi.
Yeah, clears out the Observers as well. And here we go, Classic. It seems like he feels like he took a bit of damage in the early game and he needs to get a bit of aggression going on his what would you call it? Spike. His power spike, that's the word. Yeah. His power spike here. He's only got the 2 Colossus. I would like this a bit better with 3 Colossus, but he has Storm as well, which is pretty scary. Oh no, wait, he doesn't have Storm. Why does he have?
He's got High Templar, he's got energy, but he doesn't have Storm. I hope that isn't an oversight here.
I guess he feedbacks the medevacs?
Yeah, I hope so. But here we go. The army's going to be pushing on forward. So far, no EMPs. There's that feedback you were talking about, but a massive anti-armor missile on the army.
Yeah, the Raven gets the anti-armor missile off just before those feedbacks can go down. So brilliant response time from ByuN, and he's now setting up to take this fight. I really like this depot as well. It's just going to mess up the AI a little bit of the Protoss here, as he is going to be going after the Colossus with the Vikings. Raven goes down, but that Raven was pretty much paperweight for the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't have any energy whatsoever. Did see an aggressive blink on forward by those Stalkers. They do get punished a little bit by the Marauders as well. The Sim City, the tunnel vision, what? The choke point there working against Classic.
Yeah, just kind of creating a tunnel, as you were saying, for those zealots to funnel on through. And the fight here for ByuN is absolutely fantastic. Classic just not getting the angle that he needs, not getting the Colossus swipes that he needs whatsoever. Everything gets destroyed by this Bio army, and ByuN just going to be stimming on forward, chasing him away.
Oh my god, his army is battered and is bruised, but you know what? He wants it. Overstimming a little bit, but the Stalkers are being hunted down one after the other. Also, funnel is what I was trying to say, but I went for tunnel. My brain is also going.
It's close enough.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh god, but here we go. The Zealots are going to be able to buy a little bit of time. They do go for the counterattack. Classic did expand behind this, working towards his 5th Nexi.
Yeah, so he has been aggressive behind this. He is, once again trying to cut these corners here, getting himself back into this game, but his army is looking very small. Really nice warp in as well into the main, but man, ByuN is just all over this, even anticipating a move towards the 3rd here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Widowmines annihilated a massive Zealot run by as well. These counterattacks have done nothing for Classic. They all get cleaned up. As you were saying earlier, he doesn't really have an army. Like, he lost so much earlier and he hasn't been able to replace it.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the Stalkers moving over here as well. He's just doing literally anything that he can to try to keep ByuN at home. He's just really desperate to buy himself time here, but I think there is going to come a point where ByuN's had enough of this. He's just going to grab everything and go across the map, and Classic is going to need some insane disruptor shots if he's going to hold this.
Yeah, the Purification Novas need to be perfect here for Classic, and he has a lot of them. He's got 4 disruptors with his main army. That's a lot of potential. That is a lot of potentially dead Marines and dead Marauders, and here we go. The Novas are going up, but 3 of them at a time. Uh-oh.
Yeah, 3 with a 4th whiffs as well, so only 2 left, and ByuN, if anyone is brave enough to jump on top of the disruptors, it's definitely ByuN. He's going to be going for it. He can count, he knows that these are all spent, and with that he would just be marching on to victory.
Yeah, he sims on forward, focuses down the disruptors, the Stalkers, the Zealots as well. A lot of them do come in from behind, but the target firing is just a little bit too damn good. ByuN is a bit overstimmed, but he's already done so much damage.
Yeah, and GG is called. ByuN with a fantastic first game there.
GG, well played. Oh my god, it was a brutal start to the game as well, but yeah, ByuN just doing so much there with his army, doing so much with his Ravens as well. Beautiful to see. There were a lot of little like micro moments as well that really stood out. It's just one of the great things about watching ByuN play.
Yeah, he's just a very fluid, expressive player, and that's why it's so much fun to watch.
Really is. And now we're going to be getting into game number 2 here. Classic having a hard time keeping up with the aggression of ByuN, but we'll see if he can bring it back on Ancient Cistern.
Better say his map pick, but then I remembered it's not WTL.
It's not WTL. It's not WTL. Happy, I've been casting StarCraft all day.
This is what you wanted.
It is. No, it is. Yeah. I like it. Oh my god. You know what? In both tournaments so far, all the Zerg players, they die like in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Weak mental, they don't practice enough.
Excellent.
As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for Shopify Rebellion, someone that does practice enough, does play plenty of tournaments here, and has some great results. This is ByuN.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponents, the South Korean Protoss player, the teamless player. Someone pick him up, Papi. It is Classic. It's so heartbreaking to see. Not just Classic, the 2 that stand out to me, and I'm sure there's more. It's Classic and Gumiho. They're both players that kind of got left out from all the Chinese teams picking up players for WTL. Like they're so good, but yeah, still free agents.
I feel like Gimme Her to some extent seems to want to be a free agent though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he wanted to be a free agent, but I mean, yeah.
He wants more, puppy.
He wants more.
He values himself.
He does. He does. I value him. You need to value him more, Asher, every time.
Yeah. It's just I want to watch Terrence that I can copy, and I'm not copying what he does.
You already like Yumiho already. What are you talking about?
I'm not. I don't do any of the stuff he does. I'm not that cool.
Shaking my head. Shaking my head.
As ByuN going to be opening up with something a little bit different, going for a reactor first, straight into a factory. So this is something that we've been seeing him do a little bit here. I think it's going to be a 4 Reaper 2 Hellion opening.
Yeah, we saw something similar out of Maru in the previous series, going for this double gas opener into a more aggressive Reaper and Hellion, and it's a great way to kind of mix things up here and keep your opponents on their toes.
Yeah, exactly. And here we go. So it is going to be, it's a little bit more heavy on the one base. You do delay your expansion by a reasonable amount, so it does need to get some damage, but this time we're not going to be seeing it go up against Stargate. It's going to be going up against a Twilight Council opener, and this is where the probe damage can really get out of control, because you can just, grenade those first few gateway units out of the way and start running after probes, and once you line up those Hellion shots, the Reapers make quick work of the probes.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about killing the ground army. It's about bypassing it entirely. It's about getting into a mineral line and roasting up those workers. So we'll see if ByuN can pull that off. Already, we've got 2 Reapers on the field. 2 more coming up behind this.
Yeah, and it looks like Classic hasn't gone for a scout this game. So with this Adept going across the map now, this is the first he will see of ByuN's side of the map. And this is going to be a little bit dicey for him. This is why ByuN's gotten to get away with reactor first. And I mean, Classic's done the right thing here by going for a blind battery, but it's really a battery in the main that he needs.
Exactly, because the Reapers and the Hellions, they can just run past this natural base, go straight into the main, and here we go. ByuN's about to rock up. Classic hasn't seen any of this, by the way. He is not prepared, and ByuN, he just runs past.
Yeah, he runs straight past. There are those grenades. He's going to be trying to zone out that Stalker. Puts another one on the ramp. So beautifully placed. I mean, ByuN is absolutely the master of the Reaper. And here we go. Going to be going after the probes. Really nice split from Classic and a little bit of miss micro. Actually, quite a lot of miss micro from ByuN. Wasting quite a lot of those shots on the Stalker.
Yeah, there we go. Also, great target firing from Classic as well to focus down those Hellions as quickly as possible. And with that, he only loses 3 probes. Could have been so much worse.
Yeah, so 3 probes going down for 2 Hellions and a Reaper. Not the best trades from ByuN, and that does kind of come about from some of those misclicks there. But Classic did a good job of making it difficult for ByuN.
He really did, but you know what? We saw what won Hero, not just game 1, but also game 2, and that is the mine drops, and that's exactly what's coming across the map.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow, that was quick. Far out.
Aye. So, yeah, we'll see if if Classic can keep up. For the timing, the Stalkers are being distracted by these Reapers as the mine drop is coming in.
Yeah, mine drop going to be sweeping in here. Classic, not like Hero, is going to be reacting quite quickly. I mean, this is something that you're going to be more on the lookout for if you're not going Phoenix. So I do give Hero that little caveat. But behind this, Classic, he has gone up to 4 gateways, and he is going to be going very aggressively into a Blink Stalker attack. This can be pretty dicey for ByuN. He's only got the 1 tank here. How is he going to be able to hold this?
That's going to be the question. He's got 1 tank. He's got a 2nd on the horizon. As you were saying, the Reapers dipped on in, and they were able to get a little bit more damage done. 4 probes going down in total, but Classic is zooming across the map. He wants to do damage. He wants to break the main base of ByuN.
Yeah, this is exactly the build that I was thinking about. I was thinking, 2 Hellions and 2 mines. That's so much factory build time. I was like, if I try this on the ladder, I'm going to get 4 gate blinked and I'm going to die. But ByuN maybe about to show us how it's done is, oh no, please don't blink into the Classic. No, blink straight into 2 tanks here. So he's going to be taking a lot of damage. Very nice micro with the Prism, going to be minimizing how many Stalkers do go down.
Yeah, a little bit ill-advised again. He didn't have vision. He didn't know how many tanks were waiting for him in the main base. Did lose a decent chunk of his Stalkers, but he's able to bypass that first tank. He's looking for some more damage.
Oh, another very aggressive blink. So one Stalker going to be going down for not too many Marines here, as ByuN does move these tanks forward. So Classic is going to need to get on top of that quickly. He does.
He does pull back at the same time. He has a second Stalker army here at that natural base as well, slipping past that bunker, going into the mineral line.
Oh, yeah, he's kind of backing himself into a corner here. I'm surprised that he's warping in more units here. He does still have the Stalkers towards the north, so if he does switch back to those, that tank is looking mighty exposed for ByuN.
Oh, it really is, as 9 more SCVs are going to be going down, and here we go. Classic in the main base tries to dive on top of that tank, but he doesn't quite get it. He's taking a lot of shots.
Yeah, it gives ByuN a little bit too much respect here, and he is going to be, oh, this was not a good blink for Classic. He's going to be losing everything right now.
This is too much damage here. I mean, he did get a tank at least, but he lost how many Stalkers in total? 13.
Max Pax would have won this game.
Yeah, again, maybe Classic, as you were saying, respecting ByuN a little bit too much there, taking too many shots. He does go back into the main base, does at least force the starport to recenter.
Yeah, Starport going to be backing off, and I mean, ByuN, just because of how exposed these add-ons are, he hasn't had the chance to make another tech lab on the racks to get that combat shields. It's just going to be Stim here, but he's done pretty well to get Stim up, to be honest, because this is very exposed.
It is insanely exposed, but it looks like it's about to finish up. Classic is diving in once again on top of the tank. The tank survives a little bit longer than it otherwise should have, and once again, a lot of gateway units are going to be going down.
Yeah, that was a very cute move from Classic, using the Zealot to tank those first couple shots of the tank, but with Stim finishing up, there's just a little bit too much here for ByuN. Those medevacs very heavily delayed, so he won't be able to move out just yet, but he's killed so many Stalkers, and the Raven going to be dipping back in to get a bit more probe damage.
There we go. Does dip back in, is going to be able to at least force a reaction out of Classic there. Dip his attention back at home instead. Meanwhile, he's still trying to find damage with these Blink Stalkers. He's trying to delay the CC.
Yeah, some beautiful Prism micro coming out from Classic there. It's so smooth with that. Just kind of dropping the Zealot here and there, trying to find where the tank is by soaking up that shot. Not going to be too successful there, and it feels like ByuN has secured his base now. He is going to be safe, and Classic senses that as well. He's going to back off now.
Yeah, there we go. He will respect ByuN's position. Doesn't want to get caught out by those Marines, by that Stim. And thankfully, Classic did expand and take a third base behind this. He does now have it up and running. He's working on Charge, working on Storm, working on that Charge Archon transition. Yeah,
no, it looks like the Raven must have got a scout on this Templar Archives being researching, because ByuN is throwing down a Ghost Academy very early here, and that does mean that he's going to have a nasty timing coming up here. Just because he did kill so many units, Classic is relying so much on landing his splash damage here, and if ByuN can go for a push and land EMPs on the High Templar, he might just completely roll over him.
He may. The Ghost, they can really make or break these really ground toss of these gateway unit reliance compositions here. Meanwhile, I don't know if you saw, but there was a really cute move from Classic. He brought his High Templar over and he actually feed back the Raven.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So nice little attention to detail there by Classic, as here we go. He's going to be moving on out. Storm, as a reminder, is now done, and a couple of those High Templar are hidden in that prison.
Yeah, great Marine spotter there from ByuN, though. He is going to be seeing everything that he needs to see. Sees a High Templar on the ground, might even have caught that Prism, but the Prism going to be moving around here, going for a bit of a flank. Man, the spotters of ByuN just way too good here. He sees everything.
Yeah, the Marines do confirm the position of the Prism. And there we go. ByuN is moving out with a handful of Marines looking to intercept. Uh-oh.
Yeah, does Classic anticipate this, as the Marines going to be chasing after that, and they get the Prism with the 2 High Templar. They were going there, looks like, for a little bit of a Storm drop, but wow, ByuN is really playing life dangerously here. He does eat a pretty big Storm, but the reactions are so good. He's chasing after High Templar with Storm, with red health Marines. ByuN is absolutely out of his mind crazy.
He's crazy, but you know what? It kind of paid off, because he did connect with an EMP. He did connect with those High Templar. There we go. They're forced to be morphed into Archons. No more Storms are remaining.
Yeah, no more Storms are remaining. ByuN is going to stand his ground, take this fight here. There is just nothing here. The Zealot's absolutely wilting. There's a couple more Storms here. ByuN going to be eating those fully on the face. A lot of Marines going down.
Yeah, ByuN, he had some momentum, but 2 insane Storms connect, and once again, Classic is able to force ByuN back for the time being. He holds onto his third base. He's taking a 4th behind this as well, but ByuN is not looking to slow down.
Yeah, Classic holds, but he holds with shaky, shaky hands here, and he is trying desperately to get into another form of splash damage here. We do have Colossus coming out 2 at a time. Thermal Lance still quite a ways off here, so ByuN still has some opportunities, especially if he splits up his pushes. It's going to be very difficult for Classic to hold on.
It really is. Classic just doesn't have the largest army right now. Together, especially with Storms, he can take a fight, but apart, he may just be pulled as ByuN is going for a bit of a drop on the right hand side. Does get spotted by that Zealot run by.
Yeah, he gets spotted. He's going to be pulling back with that as well. Then goes back anyway, so going for the double bluff here. Classic a little bit too sharp for that, leaves some stalkers behind, but this push at the front looking rather menacing. Oh, almost gets to the prism there, but it does pull back to the safety of the battery. Does feel like a bit of a stalemate here. I don't think ByuN's going to want to push into that battery.
Oh, he really doesn't, but at the same time, the mind job goes on in. The stalkers were not in position, and 8 probes go down. And we have detection. Okay, thankfully, we do have a cannon on the way at the third.
Yeah, that cannon should be up just in time here, as ByuN just going to be backing out of there, getting that 4th up. This is something we talked about with Clem as well. These really fast players like ByuN and Clem, despite being all over the map and forcing responses out of their opponents, the way that they get ahead is that they're fast enough to macro cleanly behind that.
Yeah, exactly, and as a result, ByuN has been able to keep up with not just his army production, but he's got his own 4th base on the way as well. He's keeping up, actually exceeding the economy of Classic right now.
Yeah, he is. He's got all these turrets up in the main as well, so just being extra careful that he's not going to be dying to any kind of prism run bys or anything like that back into the main, and he can just keep everything out on the map. Funnel, exactly.
You're not wrong, as we do have a big scan here. It does confirm the size of this army, the Colossi count as well. But you know what? To deal with that, we're getting into Viking production 4 being made at a time. We even have ship weapons on the way as well, just to help them out.
Yeah, good army, nice soys. Nice soys. We do have those 4 Colossus moving on out. We have quite a few High Templar as well. I kind of like that he's got them sprinkled on the ground as well as in the prism, just to make it even more difficult for ByuN to cover everything with the EMPs.
Yeah, it is great to kind of diversify where your splash damage is. And here we go. The armies are kind of passing each other here. 2 ships in the night. Classic does have the high ground.
Or is he going to go for the prism? He does go for the prism. Big Storm's going down. ByuN does not care. He's actually just going to be walking straight through the prism. He really likes this angle that he has here. All the Marines get completely destroyed here, but he will just back off for a moment to heal up, to let the Vikings take out the Colossus, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing. We have a couple more Archons here, so it's going to be important to focus those down, but man, the EMPs, they do the trick here, and we are going to be having both players pretty much trading out their armies now.
Yeah, but ByuN, he's left with a higher tier army with Vikings, with Marauders, with Ghosts as well. He is good to go for a counterattack. Classic loses every single high-tech unit. The Archons, High Templar, the Colossi, the Prism. What does he have left to defend? He has 2 Colossus on the way in production, and until that happens, he's going to be a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, he definitely is, and ByuN not really want to give him a moment to breathe. He's going to be charging on forward. Might be waiting for just a moment for the EMPs to recharge on those ghosts, but there we go. Throws down the scan, sees the High Templar and the Colossus, and is going to be doing ByuN things, not backing off, just charging on in there.
We even have some feedbacks on the Ghosts as well, something you don't see too often, just to try to minimize that EMP. With those Colossi, it looks like Classic is going to be able to hold on for the time being, but with the air superiority, we are done with the Vikings. It is now the era, the time for freedom, for liberation, Twins.
Yeah, Liv's on the way, especially if Classic's not able to get a 5th base up, and we do have spotters at both 5th for ByuN here. These are going to be impossible to deal with without more economy than this.
Yeah, we need more Stalkers. We need something else that shoots up. Here we go. ByuN is laying siege on the 3rd base. The Colossi armies are trying to come in from behind, up a ramp, and going into these Liberators, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, beautiful EMP there. ByuN just so active with his army, constantly repositioning these Liberators, just trying to zone out the army. Great split coming out there as well. Doesn't quite get the EMPs that he's looking for, but he is trying to wedge these Liberators into an angle where he can take a nice fight here. He's not quite there, but I think He's not going to give up on this.
Yeah, he's not giving up, mate. He's just sieging on forward with those liberation zones. And here we go. The Chargers commit to a big fight. EMPs were insane earlier. The Colossi are pushing on forward. The Liberators are being focused down.
Yeah, the Liberators go down, but it's just the 4 Colossus here. There's barely anything to buffer for them, but they do find themselves back in the safety of the shield battery. ByuN has to back off here, but we can still see he's got a massive supply lead here. Classic behind this hasn't been able to get up a 5th, lost his 4th as well, so he just has no money to replenish this army.
He really doesn't. He barely survives, but ByuN is remaxing and Classic is not. He still has 3 Colossi, don't get us wrong, but we're going back into Viking production. We still have 4 Liberators left over as well. ByuN can take another fight, and he's actually moving out towards the bottom right hand corner of the map. Meanwhile, Classic is pushing in through the middle.
Yeah, straight through the middle, and that's where these tanks are so beautifully placed, and they're going to be getting a lot of free chip damage here as Classic tries to work his way in. He is losing almost all of the bulk of his army. There's just no buffer here to protect these Colossus, and ByuN senses that he's going to be charging on through. GG is called. ByuN takes the 2-0.
GG, well played. ByuN is able to overcome the might that is Classic, takes down his Protoss opponent, and he's going to be meeting Maru in the finals.
Oh, it's Maru vs ByuN again.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You, Papi, the TvT finals, Papi. It's just, it happens all the time now, all the time.
I have seen this one a few times.
Let's go, Papi. Let's go. For those who are wondering what we're talking about, Maru and ByuN, they faced in the finals in KSL number 1. They also faced in KSL number 2 as well. So, gonna be a bit of a rematch here. I believe Maru was able to win both times, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, a bit of a rivalry going on between these 2 players.
Yeah, they play a lot. I feel like okay, I actually want to look it up because I feel like they've played a lot of times recently.